Okay, so hello once again. Let's take a look at your new set of essays, shall we? The first one is about weddings and spending a lot of money on them. Do the benefits of this outweigh the disadvantages? Let's see what you said. The issue of whether spending much money on weddings or not. Issue of spending money has grown in importance over the last few years. Although the cost of holding an inexpensive wedding could save money, it must not be forgotten that a luxury wedding could show the couple's respect to their marriages. Okay, to their marriage, singular. There are not multiple marriages here. This essay will analyze both issues using examples from China's government and Japan to demonstrate the points and prove arguments. Okay. So what is your position in the end? I mean, do the benefits of spending a lot of money outweigh the disadvantages? That's what I was waiting to read, and I didn't read it. I'd like you to make this a little clearer. So here you basically said, yeah, well, this, also this, but I don't know where your position fits into all of this. So even here you said this essay will analyze both issues. Yeah, but where is your stance on this, okay? And this is not a correct sentence. You saw in the beginning that I paused, and I'm going to return to this because it's inaccurate. It's not the issue of whether couples should spend much money or not. Okay? That's how you want to phrase it because this in and of itself is not an issue. All right? Let's move on. Okay. On the one hand, nope. This is on the one hand. You want on the one hand. So on the one hand, there is ample evidence that a costly wedding would cause a financial problem for newly married couples. You have a comma here, but a comma is not enough here. You either needed to have a full stop or you needed to have some sort of linking device here. For example, you could have had the word and. Okay, so let's try that. So on the one hand, there is ample evidence that a costly wedding would cause a financial problem for newly married couples, and this is because most of them just work for a short time, so an expensive wedding is unaffordable for them. All right. When we do it like that, the sentence is just too long. So put a full stop here and begin your new sentence here. Now, once we do that, there is another issue with this sentence grammatically. Let's look at it. Most of them work just for a short time. That's the incorrect tense there, okay? So you want to say something a little different. Most of them have been working for a short time. You want to explain why. I think you're trying to say that couples get married when they're young, and so they don't have a great deal of work experience or much money saved because, you know, they're essentially just starting out. But you didn't say any of that, okay? So that requires the reader to kind of work out all these details. But that's not the reader or the examiner's job. You have to do that, okay? Okay. Okay, so for example, a recent research by China's government demonstrated that a decent ceremony would not pay, but would cost at least 300,000 RMB in cities compared to workers' average wage. Okay, so we're having another grammatical problem here, all right? Another sentence with some grammatical issues. Let's see what that one is now. This is a little strange. So again, I don't know if it needs a linker, but there is definitely something wrong. So let's fix that too. Okay, here's what I suggest. So keep this, and then put a full stop, and then start like this. This, compared to workers' average wage, about 100,000 a year, is unaffordable. Okay, that's a better way to do it. Therefore, it is clear that if newly married couples spend too much money on weddings, there would be hardship, no A, in their married lives. All right, I think you do need to develop this a little more. Let me tell you why. You mentioned that it would cause a financial problem, and then you would say that it would be hardship. but you never really tell me how. So how can I say this? It's like I'm expecting you to add something else to this, like perhaps that these young people would take out a loan to have such a ceremony, and this would, potentially destroy their financial future. So something like that is missing. Rather than just telling me there would be hardship, there would be a financial problem, I want to know how, essentially, okay? So that's what's missing for me. Let's look at your second paragraph. On the other hand, although there is a case for a cheap wedding enriching a couple's married life, the impact of a solemn ceremony cannot be overstated with a D. Hold on a second. I don't think you mean the word solemn, because solemn means one that is very serious, one that is very, it has nothing to do with money. So whether it's inexpensive or expensive. So I don't know why you chose this word. Okay, moving on. The certain reason is that expensive weddings enable couples to show their respect to their marriages. Okay, you said the exact same expression up here. I would have preferred something a little different here. Okay, different language. And not their marriage. All right, fine. For instance, the wedding would be canceled, spelling, if the cost of the ceremony is below 100,000 in Japan, because Japanese consider the wedding as the way to show esteem of the couple's marriage. Esteem is the wrong word here. Again, you don't want the word respect. You do want something else, but show that they value, show that they honor the marriage, something like that. Consistent with this line of thinking is that weddings might be held only once for couples, but money could be earned their whole lives, okay? What do you mean by that? I don't understand. Do you mean that, I think you mean couples, is a once in a lifetime occasion, and they have their entire lives to, make that money again, or I think you mean something like this, but you can see that it's a little confusing and it does need to be explained a little more. Okay, what you don't really tell me is the benefits of this. I mean, what's the benefit? Like, why? I'm not really sure about the benefits. It's not totally clear. And what I mean by that is, okay, you tell me it shows respect. Okay, and I understand that. But then your support here doesn't really help. Okay, and then you tell me that in Japan this is a cultural thing, that the more money you spend shows that you respect and you honor the wedding and the marriage. But okay, I mean that might be a cultural thing in Japan, but I wanted something maybe a little more here. Like this could have been removed. The wedding would be canceled if it's below 100,000. All right, let's see. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that even though it is good for couples' married life to hold a simple ceremony, an expensive wedding could show their respect to their marriage, as it is the sole ceremony for their marriage and love. All right, that part's fine. All right, I had a little difficulty, as you probably saw, because I've spent a lot of time talking about this essay, with the development. Remember, it's the benefits, okay? And also it says plural benefits. Did you talk about more than one benefit? And disadvantages. Did you talk about more than one disadvantages? Not really. So be careful, okay? I felt like you needed to show how these are benefits, how these are disadvantages a little more. There was a lot of grammatical mistakes as well. You saw in the beginning I had a lot of trouble getting through a lot of these sentences, so that's another thing you have to be cautious about. Let's take a look now at your task 1. The bar charts show the comparison. No, this is wrong. The bar charts, they're not bar charts, they're pie charts. So the pie charts show the comparison of which subjects students preferred, no two, in New South Wales between 2014 2017. Overall, the most popular subjects were math, physics, and geography, while the popularity of chemistry and IT was the least during this period. All right, that's fine. As for the preference of math, geography, and biology, that's not a full sentence, so you can't stop there. You have to keep going, okay? The percentage of geography was the maximum in, what does that mean, the maximum? It couldn't go any higher? That's not what you mean. You mean that it was the most preferred, correct? Or you could say, as for the preferences, geography was the most preferred subject in 2014, 27.7%, while this subject experienced a considerable decrease by around 10% to 18.7% in 2017. At the same time, biology became the most popular subject in 2017, rising from 13.4% in 2014. Fine. However, the popularity of math saw the greatest fall by about 15%, falling from 27.3%, which was the second figure in 2014. Okay, careful with your typing. But that's good. Nice. Okay. When it came to physics and IT, both of them had a slight change from 2014 to 2017 when they altered from you don't alter. When they increased from 19.4 to 21.2. Is that right? Okay. And respectively. By contrast, there was a 10 times increase in history. Let's see that. Hold on. Let me just double check. History. Okay. From 1.0. Okay. You don't want to say again the minimum. No, you can't say it's the minimum. That's the wrong word. It was what? It was the lowest figure, was it? I'm not really sure. History. No, you've got numbers that are, let me see. Oh, well, yeah, IT, it looks like IT is the same figure here, but I wouldn't have used the word minimum. By contrast, there was a 10 times increase. A better word here would be tenfold. There was a tenfold increase in history from 1.2 in 2014. Just get rid of this to 19.4 in 2017, which was the biggest growth during this period. Meanwhile, there was a modest drop in PE from 8.7 to 3.2, while the popularity of chemistry was the bottom. That's not the right term. It was the least, you could say, was the lowest, while the popularity of chemistry was the lowest in 2014 and even fell to 0 in 2017. Okay, that's fine. All right, it's fine. It's you covered everything. You had a variety of grammatical structures and vocabulary. Some of the vocabulary was a little problematic, as I already mentioned, so that's probably the weakest area in this task 1. But the rest of it was fine. It was appropriate. Okay, so great. Go ahead, correct these, return them corrected, error correction list, and your new set of essays. Okay, we'll be waiting for them. So good luck.